How's it going? This is Martin here from Soul Trail. So if you've seen my channel before, you'll know that one of my favourite tents is the Vango Ultralight Helium 1. It's part of the F10 series, and the F10 series of tents that Vango created are very lightweight tents that can withstand very strong weather. So that's why I actually really love the Helium 1, because it only weighs 1.2 kilograms, and I have a review of that there. I actually brought that tent across Iceland as well. So Vango very kindly sent me on another tent, part of the F10 series, and this is a two-person tent, which it's my first two-person tent to ever have on this channel. So this is the Vango Xenon 1. It's trail weight of about 1.8 to 1.9 kilograms. It all depends how wet it is after a camp or anything like that. So this, I had this out recently. It's still slightly damp, but let's give it a quick weigh and we'll just see. That's coming in at 1.890 kilograms. So yeah, just slightly under 1.9 kilograms, but when I weigh this when it's fully dry, it's coming in around 1.8, just a slight bit over it. But for a two-person tent with the amount of space that you actually get in this, it's incredible. So let's open her up and let's go through it. I think every company should follow in the footsteps of Vango with their side access bag. It's the handiest bag you will ever get. For the simple reason is, if you're stuck on the side of the mountain, you need to get off quickly, just stuff it in there. It's so quick. Every company should have this kind of bag on it. So let's take out. Okay, so look, this is the inner and the outer that are still attached together, but I'll go through them in a minute. Let's just see what else we get in the bag. So on the inside you have all the instructions. Like, there's a bit of weight to them, so I actually cut them off. I actually cut them off on all tents. You know to put up the tent, but there's a lot of information on waterproof fabric paper, we'll say. So cut it off, save yourself some weight. So as always, you have the repair kit. You have the different fabrics inside it, including this. That'll help with a broken tent or a broken pole. If you rip your tent in the night time, this will get you out of a pinch, but it weighs nothing. So look, I don't see why you shouldn't have this with it. Anyway, put that to the side. Okay, so the poles. So these poles are great. Still a bit dirty, which probably adds to the weight. Look at that. I should really clean them off in the river that I was beside. But you also get these two, and they hold down a front part of the tent, but I'll show you that when I pitch it. So, as you can see, these are the poles. You get two of them and they're colour coded. One is slightly longer than the other, but you can't go wrong with them, because on the tent there is actually colour tags to suit the red and the blue, but I'll show you that when we get them up. But these follow the Gothic arch design that they have, and it's the same Gothic arch design that they have in the Helium 1, so I really like it. It just offers more space in the inside. Okay, let's get the tent up and let's go from there. Now, just after slotting the two poles in, I put the 3 guidelines tagged in the back, and let's just pull it forward and get it raised. It's that simple. Now, so the basics up, let's just fine tune it, the 4 last pegs. So the very same as the Helium 1, you follow the line of this. So you have 4, 1 at each side, which will stretch the tent out to make it perfect for you. Okay, here she is. Let's go through some of the material. So the outside material is a newly designed Pertex 70D ripstop. It's 3000 millimeter hydrostatic head. So regarding hydrostatic head, when I first started buying tents and jackets and everything, you always have a hydrostatic head waterproof value on it. The hydrostatic head is a measurement of water, of say a standing column of water on material. So this is 3000 millimeter hydrostatic head. So that's how much a column of water can rest on this material before it actually drips through. So you only need to have 1000 millimeter hydrostatic head for it to be waterproof. So this is 3000. And on most tents, it's around the 3000 and the 4000 maybe. But like anything above 1000 is waterproof. Like the likes of Gore-Tex, which is 30,000 hydrostatic head, and a lot of jackets and stuff like that are way more than tents. But the reason for that is they have to be, because jackets have a lot of moving parts, and jackets have like your bag strap on it, and a lot of water can soak through that. So jackets and say waterproof pants need to have a way bigger hydrostatic head value because of all the pressing against it that you're going to have. But a tent, you just need lower stuff. Sorry, that's that was my my geeky googling that I was doing. Okay, let's go through the tent. So it's a front axis tent, not a side axis tent. So you can see on each side you have your guidelines. They are pulling in the direction of each of the actual poles, so it's keeping it true all the way. You can see here, this is the Gothic arch. This is the bigger one, the blue, that comes all the way down. Being honest, I wish that they had the sleeve going all the way down to here. And it's the same gripe that I had on my Helium one. In saying that, I never had an issue with it. Here at the back, you have 1, 2, 3 guidelines. And then you have a double guideline, one holding open the air vent that goes into the inside. So over on this side, this can be adjusted. But on the other side, there's no pull cord, but here there is, so you can actually adjust it. So once you have this on and this in place, you can pull this to bring your tent down a small bit more, so that's pretty cool. And there you have the front. I'll be honest, I wish there was another guideline on that, but you can very simply attach one. I actually have guideline clamps at home, and they're very light plastic clamps that it clamps there, and you can put a guideline through it. So that is something I may do in time, not to hold the tent in place, but just to keep this open. Or you could put a sponge in there very, very easily. But yeah, that doesn't stay up. But look, you're still going to get wind in it, so it's not too bad. So as you can see, when you're setting up a tunnel design tent, you nearly hope that you're setting it up with the wind going that way or this way. If the wind changes in the night time, you still have the dome effect that it is going to go over, but there is a big gap here that this can hit. Even though I did have it in the wind already and there wasn't much of an issue, but what you can do is get the little clamp lines, put one there and pull it down to the ground. It'd be very handy in the winter, just to give you that extra bit of insurance for side wind. Let's open her up and let's have a look. So one thing I always love is the clamp system that Vango have. It's just so the bottom structure stays as one and you're not relying on the zips in the wind to hold everything in place. You can actually lock that. I love that. I really, really love that. So you have your normal Velcro here, very strong. That's perfect. You have a bungee here that you can actually tie the door out when it's open. It is a two-way zip, which is perfect because if you want to cook inside in the vestibule. Okay, let's open her up. Okay, you have here and you have here 2 tie-out points for the longer door. So I showed you these earlier on. They're for the door, but I'll be honest with you, I should have put this on earlier because I already now have the tent in the position and tightened in the position that I wanted, and adding these is gonna tighten it up a bit more. So I didn't want to over tight one area. So yeah, my mistake. I should have put these on first. But anyway, this is where they go. Down in here and down in here. So some of the gear reviews I've done on tents, I've always got questions about the length and the height and how big is the vestibule. And it's something that I was just covering from the information that I've been given in the websites. But this time, I brought a measuring tape with me. I just wanted to bring a measuring tape to show you the exact size of it. So at least when you're watching this review, you'll be able to tell, is this the tent for you, lengthwise and height-wise. But first of all, let's measure the vestibule. Okay, so the vestibule, we have 3.5 feet of a vestibule this way. The door, you have 3 foot, and on the inside, you have 4.5 foot. So there is a lot of space there to do whatever you need to do. You'll very, very easily fit a big bag there, and you'll be able to cook there because it is a two-way zip. So there are the measurements. Very handy. Okay, let's go to the inside. So these are the TBS Pro internal guidelines. I love them. I have them on the Helium one as well. But not only do you have structural sound from the outside, you can tighten the Gothic arch from the inside in a V-shaped formation. It is helping with the wind on the inside, so these are very, very, very handy, and they clip open so you can take them out, but they're not in the way, so I just leave them in. So as you can see, there's plenty of room all the way around, and you have these bands that go all the way around as well, holding it in place. You have your mesh here, but you also have your Four Seasons material on the inside that you can zip up as well. Okay, so I'm sitting down here on the bathtub design. This is 6000mm hydrostatic head, so there's absolutely nothing getting through it, and it's 70D ripstop, so it's absolutely perfect. Okay, let's measure the height. So from the ground to the center, that's 3 foot. So sit in the ground and measure from your ass to the top of your head and you'll see. But you have so much space on this that 3 foot, the amount of length and the amount of width that you have, you're never going to have any issues with that. But all I'll say to you is getting a tent that goes higher and higher and higher, that's going to be, I suppose, more unstable in the wind because it is higher. So just have a think about that. Okay, the width. You have 4 foot in width. Let's go to the length. Okay, your 7.5 foot is the length of this. So internal space, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have a hook system here that straight goes out to the actual air vent. Just over your front door, you have 1 and you have 2, and you have another hook. And on the other side, you have 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you've actually plenty of space there for bits and pieces. And there's lots of room in here. There really, really is. What a cool design. Plenty of cooking space in the vestibule. Really, really handy. Okay, just to show you what the actual size is, I'm going to put my thermarest in. Now that is the end, and you have all that space up and down. So, for argument's sake, let's put that there. That's your mark for the end of it. You have that much of a gap in between you. Or you can get it closer if you want. All depends how much you know each other. So I've only used this tent once, and I don't think I'm in a position to give a pros and cons of it, but I will give you my thoughts and my first impressions on it. So let's have a quick look. So first of all, I wish that sleeve went all the way down. In saying that, it gives you the option to pull that to adjust in the wind. I really like how many points are at the back here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have the double one here holding open, and then you have the guideline here and the guideline here. So I really, really like that. So I haven't tested this in side wind yet, so I don't want to give my opinion on how bad or good it is, because I actually just don't know. But I do wish that they put a tiny little loop here that you can actually pin this down, but you can get around that by using the clamps. I really like the vestibule and how big it is. You have plenty of room in it, and you have so much room in the inside for for 2 people. Or in the winter when it gets dark at 4 o'clock, if you're heading out here, you have so much room. It's like a palace. There's plenty of structure, space around. I wish that air vent did stay up, but again, there is air going to get in there if it's blowing, so that's not a problem. The tie back points are really good on the door. You find on some that they actually just don't hold in place and keep falling out. I just like the thought that they put into this tent. I will come back and do another review on it after a good few times using it during the winter. But yeah, for now, yeah, I really like it. Okay, so there you have it. So that's the F10 series by Vango. That is the Xenon 2. There is so much space in that for a non-trekking pole tent at a trail weight of about 1.85 to 1.9 kilograms. It's really, really good. So in terms of the weight of it, you will be able to get lighter 2-person tents when it comes to trekking pole tents. But I will say I would trust that in a storm over a trekking pole 2-person tent. That's what they're designed for, the tunnel design tent. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to bringing this through its paces during the winter, and it's a good it's a good add-on to my arsenal of tents that I have at home, and it's going to sit nicely right beside my Helium 1, which I absolutely love as well. So I will come back after I use this multiple times out in all weathers and go through the full tent again. But for the moment, this is like a first impressions. I have used it once and I am impressed by it. I want to really thank Vango for giving me the trust to actually do this review, and I'm really looking forward to getting this out on the trail. So happy days. So thanks very much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe button. And this is Martin here from Soul Trail, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.